All right, guys, welcome back to OGN Champions Winter, and Ambition gets the MVP for his mid-Kale play 6-1-2, and check that out. He has 700 MVP points. You get 300 points if you get MVP in the semifinals. So he is now number 1 on our Sonokong IB MVP rankings, but we've got a lot of season left. It's probably going to change.
Yeah, I mean, Ambition, many players from all over the world have listed him as one of the top AP players globally.
He certainly is, yeah.
A lot of North American players, and the reason why is he's not flashy. You know, he doesn't make a lot of the big plays. But what Ambition does do is never lose his lane, ever.
Yep.
I mean, he's rock solid. He plays very conservatively, but as you can see in that last game, he was 100 CS over Rapid Star.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, the thing is, I mean, if you keep playing champions like Kale and things like that, you can farm so well no matter what, you know, no matter the circumstances, and you have the utility to be very aggressive if you need to as well. So if he keeps playing champions like that in the style that he plays, he should have no trouble at all keeping up the success that he's had so far. Absolutely fantastic mid laner, and the first MVP of the semifinals.
Yep. So good work to you, Ambition.
Showing that ambition pays off.
That's right, man.
That's right.
He may not be flashy, he may not make the big plays, but he is the rock of
That's right.
Azubu plays, man. He is awesome.
He's the backbone.
Yeah, Rapid Star, more known for his roaming, his flashy plays, his Diana, his Evelyn.
Yep. He's like, I wish I was MVP. Maybe this game, man. Maybe you'll get MVP in game number 2. Who knows? It is a best of 5, so there's a lot of games left to see tonight, possibly 4, and I would not be surprised one bit if we went to game number 5. I mean, this is Azubu Frost and Azubu Blaze we're talking about. But so far, Blaze looking pretty tough. We'll have to see what Frost has to come back and win a game 2.
Yep, and they're going to have to think their strategy through a little bit more. I was not necessarily, I was disappointed in the Lee Sin pick.
Yeah.
But I was more disappointed in the itemization, especially the Trinity Force on Ezreal. That's not a thing we've seen on Ezreal in Season 3.
You know, here's the interesting thing about that is that we haven't actually seen Woong play much Ezreal in a while.
No, we haven't.
So maybe he just simply hasn't been playing a lot of Ezreal. I would be so shocked if like a pro player in Korea would be unfamiliar with the current, builds for his champion. But still, it does make you wonder a little bit, doesn't it?
It really does. Dan.
Here's another thing, though. Here's actually something that happens, and players do go on autopilot sometimes. And so if you accidentally start an item like that, you pretty much have to finish it. It's not like you can really sell the items back and be like, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to lose all this money and build a different item.
The extra baffling thing, honestly, was that a lot of the time in that game, we saw Woong just in a 1v1 lane or in a 2v1 lane against Ambition's Kale. He was actually perfectly safe just farming. Typically, when you're Ezreal in Season 2, you would build that Phage first so you could trade really well.
Yeah.
But he was just farming.
Yeah.
And when you see that, you see what Captain Jack did. Captain Jack said, okay, we're not going to team fight right away. I don't need that Black Cleaver for bullet time early, which was a bit confusing at first, but once it became clear that he was just going to farm all day, and Blaze's plan was just to stay in lane as long as possible because they were out farming so heavily in lane already. Right. Their early Bloodthirst made sense. Would have made sense for Woong as well.
It's like he brought his Vayne play to Misfortune. It's interesting. He really has his own style. So here we go, guys. Picks and bans between Azubu Blaze and Azubu Frost for game number 2 here in the semifinals of Champions Winter. I can't believe it. We're already to the semifinals, man.
Yep. Day 1 of 4 of the semifinals.
Long semifinals, but hey, more the merrier for me. That's what I think.
That's
Kha'Zix,
right,
first ban against Rapid Star, followed by an Evelyn ban against Ambition. No surprises so far at all.
Twisted Fate also going down.
Yeah. Now, is TF really so much of a worry anymore?
Well, if you're going to ban Kha'Zix, it's a little more of a worry.
I guess
Kha'Zix is ridiculously good against TF in lane, but we've also seen those Nocturne picks. You know what's weird, actually, is that both Frost and Blaze in their quarterfinals ran mid-Nocturne against Twisted Fate to great effect. So you would think that they would be comfortable with that.
Yeah, they wouldn't need to ban TF because they already know that they can counter him quite well. Yeah,
both Ambition and Rapid Star have played mid-Nocturne, so I don't know. I don't know what that is.
What do you think about the Elise ban against Azubu Blaze? I mean, or Azubu Frost, rather, because Flame did such a good job on Elise last game. They must be planning on going for something a bit different.
Yeah, they clearly are. Now, the question is, what are they going to be running in that top lane? Shen has been banned as well because both Flame and Cloud Templar are excellent Shen players. So we're going to see Shen probably banned against whichever team doesn't have first pick. And then Olaf coming down as well. That's at Helios. Helios is a very aggressive Olaf player.
Okay, and there is going to be a misfortune pick immediately again by Blaze. Zyra possibility for Frost. Now, Zyra is the most banned support champion in Champions Winter. She's got so much utility.
Yeah.
Huge amounts of utility, can do a decent amount of damage, and we've seen a lot of support players in this tournament really favor Zyra. Kinch is kind of the one that always comes to mind with that.
Yep.
Possible Jarvan.
This would be very interesting. A lot of CC from these first two champions right there. The Zyra ult. Oh, nope, they're going to go with Taric.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is going to be good against that armor shred from MF. Having a high level of that Shatter Aura will be helping his team survive the Black Cleaver fever that has swept Summoner's Rift here at OGN Champions Winter.
It's like that board game where you try to stop that disease and it goes across the entire Earth, and it doesn't matter, you run out of turns, and the entire world dies. That's what Cleaver fever is like.
Nocturne going to be the choice to get back to that MF, but of course with the Kayle coming up as well, Captain Jack will be quite safe.
Yeah. I mean,
so that kind of lowers the threat in a lot of ways for the Nocturne ult. He's going to have to try and get on Ambition. Yeah. And this same comp coming out of Azubu Blaze.
You know, if it works once, why not? If it works, you know, it's not broken, don't fix it.
You know, they're not going to have Taric this game, but Taric was not key to what happened last game because Sona's still on the board.
I think Lustboy is going to be fine with playing Lulu instead of Taric.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Lulu, Sona, whichever those two we see, it's going to probably be one of those two.
Yeah. And so, I mean, in that case, if they are going to play Lulu, too, they probably want someone who can kind of jump in the middle and initiate. I mean, Cho'Gath can get in there. He is tanky, but he can't exactly get in there quick enough for Wild Growth to be as effective as it would be on someone else. So we'll have to see what their picks are.
So with Nocturne, I'm wondering if we're going to see Diana as well. That's a pretty typical combination. Great synergy to dive into the back lines right there.
Yeah,
but
very true.
Amumu's still on the table as well, and since Amumu could be picked, that might cause problems. And Ahri going to be another divey champion there as well.
You know, you and I talked about Ahri as well in that she's one of the few AP champions that may survive as a common pick in Season 3 just because of her mobility, her ability to do lots of damage, her you know, CC, of course, as well. And the Aurelia pickup for Shy.
Oh, Nunu, I love this pick right now.
And why is that?
Because the zoning for Absolute Zero, if they try and dive in, is just going to stick everybody in mud.
Yeah.
Now, with Nocturne, Ahri, and Aurelia all trying to dive into the back lines, they've got to have a way to slow them down. And since they have Cho'Gath, Rupture is not going to be able to hit them because they're going to be moving too quickly. But if they have to go through Absolute Zero or have to sit in it for a while, it's going to just do an insane amount of damage and CC to them.
Yeah.
I really hope we see this pick. And I love Nunu Misfortune lanes. One of the most aggressive lanes that you can run. Absolutely crazy. Her movement
totally
with
plays
the
the style.
Yep. And there's the Darius. This is, but it's the same philosophy as the last. Oh, nope.
Ooh, are we going to see Nami? We may actually see our first Nami of the tournament.
That would be very exciting.
And we are indeed. All right, guys. Champions Winter, where nobody is afraid to play the new champions. I love it. We've got Nami coming out on Lustboy. And this is going to be so much fun, guys.
Well, it does offer them a lot of movement potential, and again, a lot of CC. If that Rupture hits, the Aqua Prison is definitely going to hit, or vice versa, pretty much. So good synergy with Cho'Gath right there.
I mean, if you land Apprehend as well, that's another good setup for Aqua Prison.
And this is just this is another iteration on the same composition that Blaze ran last time. Again, they had Elise for the executes. They had Elise and Cho'Gath for the executes last time. This time they don't want to play Elise, but they're just going to use Darius for the executes instead.
Yeah.
So same idea. You get everybody low with the Kayle Splash, with the Bullet Time, shred their armor and magic resist, and that Urgot pick is actually going to be great for Azubu Frost. Very tanky champion. They're trying to eliminate Blaze's ability to control the CC and control the pacing of team fights.
Wow.
And they have extremely high mobility. They have the Shatter Aura for extra armor. And they have the position reverser from Urgot.
Well, this is going to be an interesting one, guys. Shy playing Aurelia, going up against Flame playing Darius in that top lane. Oh, I love Champions Winter Monte Cristo. What a fun tournament.
It's so good, Doa.
In the jungle, we have Cloud Templar playing Nocturne, going up against Helios playing Cho'Gath. We haven't seen Nocturne quite as often in Season 3, but still a potent force to be reckoned with. Rapid Star playing Ari, going up against Ambition, once again playing Kale. We'll see if he can recreate his MVP performance, be the first player to reach 1,000 MVP points this tournament. It'll be interesting to see if he can.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Down at AD carry, we have Woong playing Urgot, going up against Captain Jack playing Misfortune once again. Urgot, a champion that we've seen kind of sporadically throughout the whole tournament, most notably paired with LeBlanc. Mad Life playing Tarek, going against Lustboy playing Nami for the first time in Champions Winter. And I can't wait to get into the game, guys. Here we go. Azubu Blaze versus Azubu Frost, game number 2. It's showtime. And of course, what would Urgot be without giant enemy Crab God? That
He's
is
so handsome.
It's a must-have skin for Urgot players, in my opinion.
What a handsome zombie crustacean he is.
That's right. Indeed he is. He's ready to fight Godzilla or whatever.
So I still wish we would have seen Gragas on Azubu Frost's team to divide and conquer that much better, but Ari got to be a good choice. Ari, a very powerful mid laner against a lot of the bruiser comps that we're seeing in Season 3, of course, with her mobility that helps her survive against those gap closers that a lot of these bruisers have, and also having a low, we don't see Kha'Zix say in this game, but against an AD caster, having them walk towards you for 2 seconds gives your team a lot of time to burst them down.
Yeah.
So I do like Ari, and I think she will be used probably more and more as Season 3 develops. But the Urgot pick very good. So Azubu Frost's answer to the team fight of Azubu Blaze, the 5v5 that they had a bit of trouble with last game, was simply to get the Armor Aura from Tarek.
Yeah.
Have a lot of dive potential so they could get onto single targets very quickly and burst them down between Nocturne, Ari, and Aurelia, and also be able to swap somebody in to concentrate fire and disrupt the team fight of Azubu Blaze. Now the key is going to be whether Ambition gets the timing right on his ultimate. If he doesn't, Frost should win the team fight. If he does, it may be difficult for Frost to take it home.
Now Frost just ran through a ward, so Blaze knows exactly where their team is. It's not going to stop them from taking red, and it looks like they're just going to end up trading red buffs.
Yeah. Not too surprising right there. Going to go ahead and give Templar that one.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of counterplay. Neither team wanting that full engage early.
Yeah. Can't blame them. They're going to just leave that one Wraith too. That's going to mess up the respawn timer. Nice little counter jungling there.
So Captain Jack and Lustboy really do not want to be in this situation, or they really don't want Rapid Star to be getting in some farm up there.
Yeah.
And they're confident, interestingly, in Ambition's ability to handle this 1v2 situation in bot lane against a really deadly bot lane, kill lane, effectively. Yeah. Urgot Tarek, famous for how much damage it can do early.
Oh, the thing is that Dazzle really does negate a lot of Kale's, ability to stay alive too. She can't get away. She can't cast her heal really. So it's going to be something that Ambition's going to need to be very careful about. He's going to have to really try to stay safe while he uses Righteous Fury to farm. And Cloud Templar coming in for a possible early gank here.
Yeah, well, they had an early vision ward because of their level 1 invade.
Mad Life is totally going to get the Dazzle off. There he goes. Dazzled Ambition in trouble. Dustbringer comes down as well. There's the Exhaust Ambition getting ganked easily. And Azubu Frost like, all right, you got MVP last game. Let us show you what we think of your MVP.
And that's the danger of putting, allowing Frost to have that 2v1 situation.
Yeah.
When you have such a deadly dual lane combination.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And really, I want to give props to them too.
Are they going to get this tower?
Yeah, I think
They actually are. Wow.
This is exactly what they
incredibly
need.
fast tower.
This is exactly what they need because they're going to be able to swap out the and let Rapid
Maybe not. Helios coming in. He may give his life for this. There's the exhaust to make sure he doesn't get away. And another kill. Cloud Templar very low. Ambition getting some revenge. But will they get the tower? Rapid Star taking some damage from Lust Boy. The tower does get taken out. A 4-minute and 8-second tower for Azubu Frost. That is a pretty good start for them. Now, Ambition is going to be able to farm much safer at this point, but
he also,
still, you know?
Yeah, he did get the double buffs, but he only had 3 CS by the time that tower fell. So
yeah, that's rough,
he needs that farm, and now that they're going to just go ahead and probably switch Rapid Star down into that bottom lane to allow him to farm better as well.
Yeah.
Pretty big advantage for Azubu Frost right now. They did exactly what they needed to do. So I want to roll back a little bit and talk about that Vision Ward.
All right.
So that Vision Ward and Tri-Brush was there just so they could do that safe red invade, but it got double duty use because of the way that Blaze decided to structure their lanes. Now, they would have ganked with Tri-Brush in that bot lane more than likely no matter what, but if Lustboy had been down there to ward River as well, it would have been harder for Cloud Templar to get in there on Nocturne to make that gank happen. So really, that ward proved extraordinarily valuable. They knew there was no vision.
Oh, there's a dazzle on Captain Jack. He may get taken out. Lustboy does get the Aqua Prison on Woong, but it doesn't matter. Woong, oh, the flash and the barrier, and Woong actually gets away. Wow. Oh, Woong's not going to get away. Oh, he is going to get... What in the world's going on here? Woong gets a kill. Captain Jack gets away. The world goes crazy. Ambition coming in.
Really nice play there by Mad Life.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that was a cleanse on Captain Jack as well.
Yeah, that was absolutely great play by Mad Life right there. Woong, unfortunately, he didn't quite hit his last Acid Hunter to get the kill.
I thought
around.
Captain Jack was dead for sure.
Yeah, turned it around really nicely no matter what. You can see Woong already has that Brutalizer, very common item that we've been seeing since early in Season 2 on Urgot. And he's going to be pretty strong. We have seen Urgot played by these Azubu teams in Season 3, I believe, already. It was either late Season 2 or early Season 3.
I think we did see one early Season 3, but yeah, it was not as successful as it's been so far, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think, but the reason why is that we didn't have the same kind of like 5v5 comps, like AoE Insanity that has developed here with Misfortune and Amumu and Kale and all of these other champions that many of these teams have been running in the quarterfinals and the playoffs here at Champions Winter. And now that these teams have arisen, these team comps, the isolation comps are going to be very powerful, which is why I've been railing, talking about Gragas and Janna as abilities as champions that have an ability to split up the AoE damage and force these 5v5 comps to effectively participate in many duels, smaller duels, which they're not good at, or split play.
Shy doing a little bit of trading here. Captain Jack comes in to take a chunk out of him. Cloud Templar is there, though, to lay down that Duskbringer, but they really want to take out this turret. Mad Life coming up from behind. Will they be able to save the turret? It looks like they will. I mean, the minion wave just is not big enough at the moment. Meanwhile, a gigantic minion wave in bottom lane being pushed up by Rapid Star right now on Ahri.
I look at the movements right now. So 3 members top for Blaze, but as soon as they see that Rapid Star is pushing bot for Frost, we see Mad Life and Woong returning to mid lane to keep the pressure on and forcing Ambition to go bot lane. So they're going to get some turret damage here pretty much no matter what and some free farm. So great map positioning by Frost here to dictate where exactly Blaze is going to lane and buying themselves just a little extra time. And these little advantages really do make a big difference.
Oh, absolutely,
Shy, by the way, getting that early Warmog's armor.
Huh, interesting. What do you make of that?
Needs to be tanky. He's been losing his lane so far because there's been basically, Cloud Templar has put all of his attention now down on that bottom lane.
Yeah.
So,
well, Ahri is such a great choice to, really aggressively push that forward pushed already bottom lane. I mean, she can get away from pretty much everything with her Spirit Rush, so she'll be quite safe down there, really putting a lot of pressure on that lane.
Yeah, and also still going to be really good with DFG, and we're going to have a couple very tanky champions on Azubu Blaze, a Warmogs from Darius, etc. So, looking at some statistics right now.
Yep. A little bit of information about Misfortune.
4% lifesteal, I'm guessing. That's okay. I think that's what I saw.
Could
Sorry.
be. Well,
sorry, guys. We're working on getting an English language client, so I can actually give you the
ideally,
information.
we'll have that someday. Yeah. Hopefully. We're working on it.
We are.
That's right. If I would have had more time, I could probably have read. I'm starting to be able to notice all the Korean terms for these things, but I'm not fast enough yet, man. Give me a couple months.
That's right, man.
I'll be there.
We won't need a Korean or an English client in a couple months because Dell will be able to read it for you.
That's right. That will happen. So we've got the bot lane players in the mid lane. A lot of pressure being put on this turret by Azubu Frost.
So Woong gets a late Crystalline Flask. So this is going to be another farm game, probably. Woong says, I'm going to get this Crystalline Flask much later than usual, so I continue to spam my abilities in lane, push towers, grind them down over time.
Yeah. Okay.
Shy also buying HP, and another reason not only just to be tanky, but because Darius, his passive does, his bleed does magic damage.
Yeah.
And
oh, man. Here comes the bait. There's a huge gank coming in on Flame. Will they be able to take him? Yes, they absolutely will. Doing some damage to Cloud Templar, but man, Flame had no chance there. And if you're going to pick on someone from Blaze, he is definitely going to be your best target.
And Azubu Frost made that happen because of their pressure on bottom lane. That early turret going down and how hard they keep shoving that bot lane has basically trapped Ambition down there, and they're going to lose another turret for it. So taking advantage of the positioning that Blaze had on the map to make that gank happen. You know,
we saw Blaze really putting the pressure on in game one, getting a lot of turret kills and early player kills as well, and now we've got the direct opposite. These teams are so even. I mean, we saw KT rolls for A and B play, but I feel like the skill disparity between Blaze and Frost is very, very small, you know? It's going to be a very close game every single time.
Yeah,
or close match overall, anyway.
Yeah, the only thing that Frost has to worry about is they need to be a little bit concerned about their ability to deal damage in the late game. They need to keep this momentum up. They need to get a sizable lead, because if they don't continue to snowball this advantage, they will have kind of a damage output failure at some point. Because Aurelia's building tanky.
Oh, that's true.
Cloud Templar now going to build tanky as well. Urgot, not a great champion, an AD carry that does a lot of damage.
Now the gold lead will increase for Azubu Frost as they will get this Baron Dragon rather completely unopposed. 11-minute Baron, that doesn't happen very often. Yeah,
so true.
11-minute Dragon, a little bit more common. Meanwhile, they are taking some pressure on this top lane, so they may be trading a Dragon for a turret here.
I'm actually surprised the Shy was going up there to try and save it. No? Oh no, he's actually just going to go jungle, so they're going to push mid lane, which makes a lot more sense. Only Ambition is there right now to stave off the incoming attack.
He's going to try. I mean, he can clear lanes quickly, but with 4 champions there, he's going to have a very, very hard time staying alive long enough to do that. Yeah, Captain Jack and Lustboy coming up now. Charm barely misses Ambition. Oh, wow. Captain Jack having to cancel that. Yeah, that bullet time did not work out.
A little too far forward in terms of positioning right there. He can be burst down extremely quickly. That Shadow Aura allows them to, and they're just going to sit in the brush with a ward in it.
They're not going to be able to do too much with that.
Nope.
Yeah.
This is the saddest attempt at a pick.
All right. They're like,
those
yeah,
wards
they're not coming.
Always messing up pro teams' plans, Doa.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But they were just trying to hide right there so that they can continue to push on mid lane.
Yeah.
We saw Frost doing this a lot last game. Basically, when there's not a wave on a turret, they just hide. So that Blaze won't know where they are, and they'll think that maybe they're rotating lanes and then send their teammates to lanes and not put up a strong defense against the really, really hard push that's coming.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shy doing a bit of split pushing himself here. That turret still up, although very, very low. Madlife's been doing a great job of getting himself in front of the attacks of Azubu Frost, or Azubu Blaze rather as well, and giving everyone else time to hit that turret. Ambition's going to clean out this wave, no problem. But again, you know, it's another opportunity where or another occasion rather, where Ambition is a long way away from the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, and it's again that push in bot lane has been so critical to Frost's success so far.
Yeah.
Gonna allow them to get another turret. Look, this is the second turret. They got top lane, now they get mid because that push in bottom lane has been so huge and diverted Ambition.
Yeah. Wow. Frost just seeming to absolutely dominate this game. And I gotta say the wards too from both of these teams have been really good, especially more on the Blaze side of things. Frost hasn't been able to really sneak up on them from the back since that very first gank in the bot lane. But, you know, maybe that actually was the only one they really needed to get, too.
Yeah, and we do see the Frozen Heart build going to be starting now for Wilm. I suppose it may be an Iceborne Gauntlet. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world on Urgot to have that item in there. But we'll have to see what exactly his plan is.
Yep.
The Giant's Belt coming down as well for that extra bit of tankiness when he starts reversing positions. Now Boots of Mobility coming onto Mad Life. They're going to be somewhat reliant on him for an engage, so it does make sense. Not absolutely reliant, but starting off the fight with the Dazzle will
here comes Ambition. He's going to try to just chase Rapid Star away. Rapid Star dodging back and forth, but he just can't trade straight up with Ambition right now. A little bit too much damage going on, but you know, if it comes to a chasing scenario, Ambition is never going to be able to catch Rapid Star, but can at least do a little bit of zoning.
Yeah. Mad Life going to go ahead and clear out some of these wards, picking up that Oracle, but he didn't see the one around the corner there.
Oops.
Oopsie.
Oh, well. Don't worry, it'll be gone in like a minute and 10 seconds. It's fine. Ambition pushing up this bot lane now. And you can chunk down turrets fairly quickly with Kale, too.
And notice the difference in Captain Jack's build this game. This time, he's actually going for that earlier Bloodthirster, Black Cleaver instead of the Bloodthirster, because this game has been more of an accelerated pace than the last game. Towers have fallen faster, and
definitely.
he realizes that those team fights are going to be coming sooner. He won't have the luxury of farming up that Bloodthirster first before getting the necessary Black Cleaver for the team fights like he did last time around.
Seems right.
And Shy also doing a really good job of catching up in terms of CS, in spite of the fact that he had a rough time in lane.
Yeah, the biggest CS difference right now is look at the mid lane's Ambition, 130 over the only 80 of Rapid Star. And the thing is it's not like Rapid Star really has a lot of kills and assists to show for the lack of CS, to show for the roaming that he's been doing.
Yeah.
He's actually just one kill. He's 1-0-0, and Ambition is 1-1-0. So not a big difference there, just a big lead for Ambition.
Well, yes, and they've actually given Ambition a lot of farm.
Yeah.
Because they keep creating, Frost keeps creating these big minion waves for the farm. But the advantage they've gotten by creating those minion waves is several turrets. So it is a bit of a trade, but I think ultimately definitely worth it for Frost to create this imbalance in their mid lane situation.
Now they've got to be, I feel like, a little bit worried though about the damage that Kale can do in the late game. Do you think they're concerned at all about that?
Well,
oh, here comes Nocturne again, jumping on Flame. He was a bit out of position here. There's the Rupture, trying to keep him alive. Helios doing his best, but Flame gets exhausted. Flame, barely gets taken down. Aurelia with the final ultimate blade. And they're going to lose this turret, but still, I mean, in the end, we still have Frost in a really, really good position in this game.
All right, so Frost wanting to create some sort of pick here. Ambition just going to blue pill.
Yeah.
Not going to keep pushing that lane. Instead, tables have turned a little bit, so they sacrifice Flame, but a tower loss for Frost. So definitely in Blaze's advantage right there.
Yeah.
They've maintained this deficit. Look at this pick coming up.
Yeah,
Frost
Point Helios
really wants it.
That's right. Oh, they do get seen with the ward though, or they do find the ward rather.
Captain Jack staying close to turret, not interested.
Yeah, can't blame him.
Being part of that hyperkinetic position reverser, Templar going to go ahead and solo Dragon.
Yep. He's going to give it his best. There are no wards there, so he should get away with it fairly safely. Yeah, looks like Shy is going to come down and help out. So, you know, at this point, things have progressed so quickly. I mean, I kind of feel like Azubu Frost has to take a bit of a break. Ooh, Helios. There's a Rupture. He doesn't quite get Dragon with it, though. That was actually really close. Would have been something to see him steal Dragon with a Rupture.
Yeah, Templar would have to screw up his smite pretty badly for that to happen.
Yeah.
nail on the head on that smite.
Stranger things have happened, though.
So true. And now we're going to see a Sunfire Cape on Aurelia.
Yeah.
Super tanking Aurelia, just trying to get into the middle of the lines and absorb as much of the CC as possible from Blaze, because of course it affects her less with her passive, Ionian Fervor.
With Blaze right now, what are you looking for? Are you looking for, do you think, taking some more turrets to try to even that up, or do you want to try to force a team fight? Or neither?
Their team fight really, as I was saying earlier, depends on Ambition's ability to ult at the right time.
Right.
The issue that they're facing against Frost Team Comp is that it's trying to isolate them. They've got a lot of dive from Ahri, Aurelia, and Nocturne. It's going to be difficult for them to stay alive against that because once they get back into that back line, the thing about Kale and the thing about MF is neither of these have escape abilities. So when you choose who to hit with the Kale ult, the thing about Frost's comp is they're just going to start attacking the other person. It's either going to, they just will focus, if MF gets ulted, they'll just focus Ambition's Kale instead.
Yeah.
And then wait for the ult to go off and then just switch focus right back. So I think I like Frost's comp so far.
I think you do.
In this game. It's going to be how fast they can kill those members, and Frost's going to go for a very fast Baron.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any way.
They saw that there were a bunch of members of Blaze in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it was a good choice here. There are wards for both players there, but they have no idea. They may be picking it up now. Yeah, they're probably wondering right now, where is Frost? And now they know.
Wow.
What a great Baron.
It was a great Baron, and it was especially good because Azubu Frost doesn't have a team that could do Baron especially quickly.
Yeah.
You have Urgot, like the low damage AD carry, and then you don't even have an AP carry that can Baron quickly.
Now here's the thing though, it seems like Frost really needs to get a lot out of this Baron. If they don't get a lot done with this Baron, suddenly we're back to what you were talking about earlier, where that lack of damage may start to come back and kind of hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, the scary thing about Frost is their ability to create picks.
Yeah.
This is a team that if you are caught out of position, it is maximum punishment, like total punishment. From Charm, from Dazzle, from the position reverser, from Paranoia. I mean, if you are, and honestly, like it's working really well so far. They've managed to create the picks. They've managed to keep a kill advantage in a relatively low kill game and generate a 5,000 gold advantage right now. They're looking much better than they did in game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and we've seen Frost do this same type of thing in the group stages, actually. You know, lose a game 1 and then come back and just look utterly dominating in game number 2 as well. So I feel like Frost, you know, as a team, kind of mentally gets in this situation sometimes where they get mad, you know? And when they get mad, they really start to focus, they really start to play well. So if I was Azubu Blaze, I'd be a little bit worried going on at this point in the best of 5 here, because I think they got Frost a little bit mad with that game 1.
Yeah, and something that I've noticed about Azubu Blaze as a team from casting them many, many times. I casted them at the MLG Summer Arena, at MLG Dallas, you know, here in Korea. When Azubu Blaze starts to get behind, when they get behind by like 3,000 to 4,000 gold, they're one of the teams that has the hardest time digging themselves out of that hole.
Yeah, that's actually a really, really good point. We've seen that a lot this season too.
Yeah, it's not rare, or it's rare because of their aggression and their ability to knock down towers that they actually suffer an early deficit. But when you can get Blaze down, they don't come back very well.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Frost, on the other hand, comes back magnificently. So they're kind of polar opposites in that way. Frost can allow their opponents to dictate the pace of the game for a while and still win a game. Blaze must be in control at all times or they lose.
Yeah, I gotta say, I feel like Lustboy seems a little bit lost on Nami too. I mean, we haven't really seen him use her abilities to create a lot of opportunities. He has not yet ulted with her as far as I'm aware.
I haven't seen an ult either, but they also haven't had the kind of team fight that they wanted.
That's true. Oh, look at that. Ambition just chunking down Cloud Templar. Didn't want to chase because he didn't know where the members of Frost were. Smart move there. But you can just see the damage that Kale can put out.
And you can see the picks here. So one interesting thing to note is that remember we were talking about the pick potential of Azubu Frost.
Yep.
You'll notice that Mad Life has had an Oracle all game.
Yeah.
Now that's not something you typically see in Season 3, but the reason why he's bought that is
they
to
slowed down
create
Mad
those
Life.
picks.
They
Right?
could try to go for this. And there's Woong jumping right in the middle of everything into bullet time. Captain Jack in the back doing a lot of damage. Shy getting very, very low. There's the Dustbringer. Kill for Flame. Man, that bullet time really, really did a good job of breaking up that team fight.
Yeah,
I gotta say, man, Captain Jack's scary on any champion he plays.
they really had a bad engagement. Actually,
Yeah, they did.
the silence, the feral scream from Cho'Gath interrupted the position reverser, so it didn't actually isolate anybody. It was really not a good time for Woong to use that ability.
He just kind of flashed in and then looked really afraid.
He just stood there,
He's like, oh. It's like when Maffa pulled in Jace out of the river with Blitzcrank. It's like, I didn't mean to do that.
That was a pretty funny play.
Yeah.
We need to have some fail videos.
Oh, we do. We should do a top 5 fails, man.
We could come up with a bunch of them right now, I'm sure.
Rocket's Lee Sin play against Flying Panda's Olaf in that one game,
God,
the troll game. Yeah.
That was terrible. I'd also
Crowstorm Cataclysm game.
Ezreal missing that. Woong missing the True Shot Barrage last game on the minions.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Another dragon for Azubu Frost.
But failed plays hard to find here. In the
Yeah, it really is.
numerous games we've seen. Those are
Yeah.
by far in the minority. Let's take a
check
look
out
at
that
the replay.
Yeah.
So Rupture misses right here, gets a dazzle off, and here comes Woong, and he actually gets silenced, so he doesn't get the swap off. But
a really good ult from Nami too as well. That kind of got lost in the Bulletstorm.
yeah, and Shy also just getting caught in the backlines under tower. They really didn't want to fight under tower. This isn't. The thing about Frost Comp is that they can't engage like that. They don't want to fight in a traditional 5v5.
Yeah.
They need to get an advantage. Let's say Woong, with good warding and oracles, like we've seen so far, they can use hyperkinetic position reversion, maybe over a wall, actually, to isolate somebody that way, because Mad Life's been doing such a great job of clearing those wards to try and create those picks and putting up a lot of wards inside Azubu Blaze's jungle. That has to be their strategy going forward. They can't fight a straight up 5v5 like that.
Yeah.
And they also, I mean, that's pretty much it. They need to isolate. That's the entire point of their composition. So if they can't initiate on favorable terms, they will lose like that every time.
Yep. Very, very true. And thus a glimmer of hope for Azubu Blaze in this game. Maybe even a little bit more than a glimmer here.
Well, that's why I said it was important to get a big lead early.
There's
Ambition,
the fear tether.
and Mad Life coming down.
Yeah, I mean, Ambition's in big trouble here. There's the dazzle. The exhaust wears off. He's going to try to speed away here. Ambition has some flash. He ults himself. There comes a tidal wave from Nami. They do knock on Mad Life. Woong running for his life here. He is tanky enough to survive it, though. Cloud Templar taking a lot of the focus. There's Bullet Time doing some damage here, but not as much as they would have liked. They are really doing a good job of pushing away Azubu Frost, though.
So the other issue that I said earlier in this game is that Azubu Frost has no damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Nocturne, Cloud Templar's Nocturne, not really dealing any damage. Ambition only has 2,000 HP. What, he's got 67 MR. I can't actually, like 80 something, 86 armor.
They were pointing out
seriously, you can't kill him with Nocturne because Nocturne has, look at this, he has Aegis, Wriggles, or not Wriggles, Modred's Razors, and Warmogs. Like, even in a 2v1 situation with a good catch on Ambition, they couldn't secure the kill.
They were pointing out too, just after that happened, the cooldown reduction that Ambition has as well. I mean, he's going to be able to use his abilities really quickly. His ultimate is going to be up really quickly as well. And so Azubu Blaze looking still really strong. And, you know, now we're finally starting to see Lustboy come alive. I mean, that was 2 really, really good tidal waves in a row that really helped make a difference in the team fight, break up the team of Azubu Frost. So we'll see what they have in store for the next few minutes here. But suddenly this is looking like a much, much closer game than it was about 10 minutes ago.
And they're relying so much on Ambition right now for damage from Blaze. Look at Woong's build, or Captain Jack's build, excuse me. It's literally just Black Cleaver and Last Whisper. He is like a Press-R robot right now.
Look at this. Templar does get the fear off. Ambition, though, is just going to chase him. He gets the Q for the slow, just chunking him down with Righteous Fury. Doesn't need to worry about those minions at this point. Can Cloud Templar get away? There's another Q. A lot more damage coming down. Cloud Templar in trouble. He's going to get 1v1. There it is. You just cannot go toe-to-toe with a late game Kale like Templar is built right now.
Well, and since they have no damage, and Kale now has Leandries, and they have Wong is currently building he's got his second Giant's belt, the first one now in a Warmog's armor, but they've got so much HP. This Leandries Kale is going to be doing a ridiculous amount of damage to them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with Kale, with that cooldown reduction, you just can't get away. Tidal Wave getting flashed out of by a couple of the members of Frost here, Shy at the top lane, or the top of your screen anyway. Ambition taking some hits from the Acid Seeker missile. And position reverser on Ambition. He's in trouble. There's the ultimate. Can he get away though? No, he cannot, but bullet time coming down, splitting up the team of Azubu Frost. Flame on the run now. He can slow down a little bit. There's the Dazzle. Flame coming back in. Realizes that he can't really get the kill on Woong here. And Flame is going to go down as well. Mad Life taken out in the back of everything. Lustboy trying to speed up Helios a little bit with those spells. Helios goes back in to try to save the day. Captain Jack not quite able to use that time to get any kills. Shy gets exhausted, just trying to get onto Captain Jack. Lustboy gets a great Aqua Prism. Oh, awesome play there. And we end up with a 2 for 3. Blaze taking the worst end of that. They're going to lose a turret as well, but man, what a long fight. That was crazy.
So earlier when we said, of course, Frost doesn't want to engage on Blaze in that 5v5, well, the same goes true for Blaze engaging in that 1v, the dual manner, in a manner where they could get picked.
Yeah.
Ambition over pursuing right there, and then the isolations coming down from Frost on each member of their team allowed them to win that fight. And man, Lustboy, what a clutch Aqua Prison right there onto Rapid Star. That was an absolute treat to watch.
Yeah, we're really starting to see him come alive again. You know, I'm gonna say it again, man. Lustboy is starting to show that he does know how to play Nami, which is really cool because I feel like Nami has a great tool set.
Yeah. And some good synergy with the champions like Cho'Gath that Azubu Blaze is running.
Oh, definitely, absolutely. You know, you've got a lot of great synergy as well between Nami and Kale, too. If you use, you know, Nami's E on Kale, give her that slow with her attack, suddenly Righteous Fury can slow down the entire team.
Very good point. So there we go. Coming in onto this dragon. Finally taking it.
There we go. Yeah.
Now, the goal difference is still about the same, but in this specific instance, Azubu Frost needs to be that far ahead simply to compete in this game, because the 5v5 potential from Blaze is so strong that they're going to need the extra items just to survive.
Yeah.
And Runic Bulwark finally coming down now to deal with some of the Righteous Fury and Leandry's Torment damage.
Oh, Rapid Star trying to steal that blue, but he doesn't get it.
But Frost really reliant right now on Rapid Star for most of their damage. Look at this.
Yeah.
Sunfire and Warmogs and Randuin's Omen on Shy, the tankiest Aurelia I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Woong coming down with huge tankiness as well, really only having that Brutalizer for damage.
Yeah.
Mad Life, of course, having the Shadow Aura, and Templar going full-bore tank as well. It's kind of shocking. They're relying on the true damage from Aurelia and Ahri for like their entire damage output.
Blaze not wanting to tangle with Baron. They're just going to draw Frost back by pushing this turret here. And they're actually going to get, maybe not. Okay, they do disengage. Mad Life coming in, trying to get that Dazzle. He does Dazzle Ambition. Allows the Acid Seeker missile to lock on, but it's not doing a lot of damage. Woong having to build so tankily, just like you were mentioning. You can see it's really, really hurting the damage output. They don't really have a carry right now.
Yeah, I'm concerned with their ability to actually close this game at this point, even with the lead that they built themselves.
I would agree. And it looks like Azubu Blaze is not afraid at all to fight. There's the Paranoia onto Captain Jack in the back lane. He's got to run from that Fear Tether. It doesn't work. Captain Jack in trouble. Oh, what a fantastic charm on Captain Jack as well. He gets ulted though, stays alive a little bit longer. Has it cost Azubu Blaze enough here? The kills start coming in. And it looks like a triple kill for Cloud Templar. Oh, man. Wow, but in the end, Frost coming out on top of this one. They are going to lose Ambition, though. And that is the ace. Yeah, I mean, Blaze came in, really wanted to to go after the back lines, but it just costs them way too much to do that.
Yeah, I mean, they did manage to pick up a couple kills on Frost right there, but again, the play calling, where Frost has always shined is in their ability to call those plays and to focus down immediately. Their team fighting capabilities have been Frost's strength and why they're one of the best teams in the world. And you saw it right there. Even in a situation where Blaze really had a pretty good team fight all around, they were able to take advantage of that, of their superior focus fire in order to get those kills. I actually really want to see that replay again.
Yeah, same
There's
here.
so much going on right there. We'll see it in just a few seconds, I imagine, as all these players blue pill.
I just feel like Blaze just kind of over-pursued a little bit and focused too much on one person, ignored everyone else. Let's see what happens.
Right, so immediately back onto Captain Jack. Now, I wish actually they would have hopped that kill a little sooner, because right here gets the bullet time off, but maybe just a little bit too late.
Yeah.
And the other thing they didn't do was control Rapid Star very well. Again, Rapid Star is pretty much all of the damage right now from Frost. So if they had been able to focus him down quicker, then maybe that team fight would have turned out differently. But
well, Rapid Star got such a clutch charm off on Captain Jack as well. And, you know, I feel like Ambition did mess up that ultimate in how late it came down here. And Captain Jack, a little bit of trouble from Shy. He takes some hits. But, you know, with Kale's ultimate, you want to be able to identify who you need to put it on and put it on them immediately. You don't want to wait until all the abilities that are going to bring them really low have already been used. You want to block it all as it's happening, you know?
Yeah, and Frost also, the CC that came down on Captain Jack, he was not even really able to auto-attack in that fight.
Yeah,
so
he wasn't able to do really anything.
And without both Captain Jack and Ambition autoing, because of how tanky Frost is, I doubt that Blaze will be able to actually cut through the beef.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be tough without, you know, they really need the Kale Misfortune combo to get through all that.
Yes, yeah, they do. And they didn't really get all the autos that they needed that last time.
Yeah.
But we're going to see another fight here, more than likely.
Paranoia is up again, though, and there you go. Immediately right onto Captain Jack, and he's going to be forced out of the fight again. There's the bullet time. Can they make it work, though? Ambition in the middle of that fight doing lots of damage here. He does take out Mad Life. Ambition on the run, though, now. Captain Jack did go down. Flame chasing after Rapid Star. He will not catch him. And Templar running away here. Ambition. Oh, man, he over-pursued a little bit again, I think, there. Yeah, there's the Acid Secret Missile from Woong. Going to finish him off a little bit. And Helios not able to get out of that fight as well. So Frost, you know, it's exactly what we said, you know, with Paranoia, with their ability to get on Captain Jack immediately and break up the Kale Misfortune combo. If they can do that, and they've done that 2 fights in a row right now, Frost can win those team fights every time.
And the other thing is that Rapid Star's Ari, his positioning in these last 2 team fights has been 100% perfect.
Oh, yeah.
He has flanked so beautifully, gotten the perfect charms off in order to confuse and tie up Ambition and Captain Jack.
Yep.
And the pick with this team comp in order to basically prevent the 5-5 from happening, and instead getting around the front line from Blaze has been absolutely brilliant. I love the Ari pick.
Yeah. Rapid Star does get apprehended, but it's tough to keep Ari locked down.
And that's why
Really
we're going to
tough.
see. That's why we're going to see more Ari, I believe, as Season 3 goes on, because she's one of the few AP carries that can get out of those sticky situations against the AD casters.
Yeah, suddenly
she can reposition herself so well in team fights, and those charms in the back line, so devastating.
Yes.
Rapid Star having an MVP-style game.
Yeah, I think we may see Mids get the MVP 2 games in a row, and suddenly the leap from Kha'Zix just doesn't seem as scary as it did before when you think about Ari. Looks like it's going to be a Desperation Baron from Azubu Blaze. Can they get it? Shy and Mad Life in position here. The rest of Frost coming in. Baron getting very low. Can they do it? Blaze has to disengage.
Mad Life once again with the Oracles. He's bought so many this game, doing a wonderful job of controlling vision and setting up those picks.
That ward didn't last long.
Certainly did not.
Nope. And so Frost thinking about a possible Baron, possibly trying to bait a fight out at Baron. They have to be very careful, though. Tidal Wave, when they're all grouped up at the mouth of the Baron pit, could be quite devastating, so they need to be very careful about that. Yeah, they're just going to disengage it. Go ahead and make sure all their lanes are pushed first while they decide what to do, and then they're going to go right back to the Baron, clear out those wards. Wow. And here comes Blaze, though. They do have Mad Life a bit separated here.
Yeah, Mad Life's super tanky, though. They really can't do anything about that. Helios now coming in, trying to zone him out.
Oh, man. And they're in a pretty good position.
That was actually a great move. They angered Baron to deal damage to Mad Life while he's stuck in the pit.
There we go. Paranoia coming in once again. Fights happening all over. The ult immediately used on Ambition as they try to focus him. Mad Life getting low. There's the bullet time. It does get canceled a little bit early. Captain Jad taking a lot of damage here. And there the kills come rolling in once again for Azubu Frost.
Well, he managed to kill Rapid Star, but the super minions beating down the turrets at the base as Lustboy falls for the double kill onto Cloud Templar.
It's just going to be too much. I mean, even if we would have had Azubu Blaze win that team fight convincingly, the super minions, like you mentioned, are doing so much damage here. Oh, nice catch. But there is the Nexus going down. That's a surrender, actually. The end of the game, and Azubu Frost tying things up 1-1.
Great idea. The early pressure in these lanes. So the thing about the comp with Kale and Misfortune especially is that with very strong laners, you can prevent them from getting to the point where they can actually kill you with a lot of items, and that's exactly what we saw here. The early pressure, the early map control, Mad Life's oracles constantly to set up very advantageous picks, the ability that they had to push the lanes and dictate where Blaze went on the map so that Frost was able to knock down more towers, and then Rapid Star's positioning in team fights, all keys to victory here for Azubu Frost.
Yeah, it started out with a 4-minute turret in the bot lane taken by Azubu Frost, and it didn't really let up too much from there. Kept the pressure on, and despite, I feel like a pretty good game again from Ambition, they just could not secure that win. And, we talked about assists, relative to kills. This game, overall, it was much more even. It's 10 kills to 23 on the side of Blaze and 20 kills to 52 assists on the side of Frost. So a lot more teamwork per kill being done, but we'll talk about it more after the break. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Olympus LOL Champions Winter Semi-Final.
블레이즈가 이게 말고 본인 파별 때문에.